Hey everyone, welcome back to Step Up. Today we are going to be talking about vinyl flooring in general. We're going to be talking about thickness, we're going to be talking about different kinds, we're going to be talking about wear layers. And all of this information is going to be really important for you when you're going to pick out the vinyl flooring that you are going to be using in your next project. So in this video, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible for you to understand what exactly you need in the situation so that when you go shopping, you have this information on hand. So to get started, we're going to be talking about wear layers. Wear layers is the thickness of the surface of a vinyl plank flooring. So it doesn't matter which type of vinyl plank you have, whether you're looking at a really solid one, whether you're looking at a more flexible lay flat or lay loose vinyl, or even all the way down to those really thin and really flexible glue down vinyls. The wear layer measurement is done the same way on all of the vinyls. What this is looking at, it is looking at the top of the vinyl, the color and the texture on the top that is going to slowly get worn down with foot traffic, scratches, and use. Okay? As you can imagine, this is probably the most important piece of information that you need about vinyl. Although unfortunately, a lot of brands of vinyl don't actually prominently advertise this or even sometimes put it on their boxes. They focus more on the overall thickness as opposed to the wear layers. Wear layers generally come anywhere 6, 12, 20. We're seeing a lot of 22s right now, and in commercial properties up to 40. Okay, if you are looking at household property, residential property, your aim is to get somewhere between the 12 and 20. Obviously, the thicker the wear layer, the more color and coating that can get worn down before you're going to notice wear and tear on your vinyl. So, as we say, the thicker the better. However, it's not worth the price to necessarily go overboard and start looking at those commercial vinyls with the 40 wear layer. Okay, ideally, I would look for that 20 mil wear layer. That's personally what I would want in my own homes. And especially if you are having dogs, if you're having kids, if you're having people wearing shoes, just over time, that wear layer is going to last you anywhere from about 10 to 20 years. Okay, if you do have a property where there is very little wear and tear, there's very little use of the space, you could go down to some of the thinner, the 12 wear layers. Personally, I would never go down to the 6s. As you can imagine, there's going to be a price difference as you go through it, but as I mentioned, that information is not always prominent. So it is something that's really important to make sure you understand. You can always Google it, ask the salespeople about it, or look for it on the boxes to figure out what that looks like. As I was saying, it is how quickly that surface is going to get worn down. The wear layer on your vinyl plank flooring is also really important if there's anything other than just simply installing it over a floor that you are hoping to do. If you are hoping to use your vinyl planks to create stair nosings through Step Up, the wear layer is going to be important. It is really important that we have at least a 20 mil wear layer because through that modification and bending process into that nosing profile, we do want to make sure that that wear layer is sturdy and supported. Also, if you're looking to use your vinyl plank to be making any transition pieces or vent covers, you're going to want to make sure that you have a nice thick wear layer so that you are going to remove it. You can see here, this is a vinyl plank that we have removed the wear layer on. This wear layer then gets used to actually go over a transition piece or a vent cover for them to be in the same color as the vinyl plank flooring itself. Okay, so we need at least that 20 mil, 22 is ideal for those types of projects. But again, you need to think about what your personal needs are going to be. What is that wear and tear on that flooring going to be? Are you looking to do nosings, transitions, vent covers, etc., etc.? You will notice as you start to look at different types of vinyl that the wear layer isn't always consistent based on the overall thickness of the vinyl. And this is why I'm encouraging you to focus on it first. You are going to notice that a vinyl like this is 6.5 mil thickness, millimeters thickness. A vinyl like this, which is an 8 millimeter thickness, a floppy lay flat vinyl like this, which is a 5 millimeter thickness, and even this very thin and floppy glue down vinyl, which is only a 1.5 millimeter thickness. These vinyls all actually have the exact same thickness of a wear layer. Okay, every single one of them is looking at having the same amount and thickness of that color and that protective coating that is going to give your vinyl floorings that protection over the years and that longevity. Okay, so you always want to start off making sure that you're finding those 12 to 20 mil wear layers and making sure that they are suitable for the project that you are on. Moving on from there, we're then going to look at the different types of vinyl and that overall thickness, because as I mentioned, all of these were different. So first, we've determined our wear layer and we're making sure we're in that range that we need. And then we're presented with a number of options. You might see all sorts of words being thrown out like SPC, WPC, LVP, lay flat, glue down, all sorts of different things out there. I know it can be really confusing, but we're gonna break it down and we're gonna try to make it really simple for you. Okay, the first style of vinyl that you're going to find are these really thin vinyls, which are considered glue down, and there's even magnetized ones now as well. They are very, very thin, and the intention is literally, as the name says, to put a glue down on generally a concrete surface and adhere these down. Okay, this is most commonly done in commercial properties because again, you're able to get a lower cost because it is a thinner vinyl and you are going to be able to get that long lasting finish with it is being glued down in place. I will say that this generally involves some professional installation. The glue down process can be a bit more complex. As well with that thinner overall vinyl, you need to make sure that you are always working with a completely level flooring. You're not going to want to put this on over top of other flooring. You're going to need a new construction with that concrete base on the flooring, not a wooden subfloor. Okay, so again, unless it's a commercial property, generally that's not something we're going to recommend. The next option that you can look at is a lay flat or a lay loose vinyl. Okay, these vinyls can have some thickness to them. We're seeing them coming anywhere between a 3 millimeter, the thickness is always come in millimeters, a 3 millimeter and a 7 millimeter for these. But you will notice that they are quite flexible. No matter how thick they are quite flexible. Okay. This vinyl is simply going to lay on the floor that's already there. So again, it's going to be very, very important if you're choosing this type of vinyl that the floor that you are working with is already level. Okay, whether that is a leveling process that needs to be done in the property, or you're going over a brand new construction subfloor, you do need to make sure that it is already level. The nice thing about lay flat or lay loose vinyl is that it is easy to replace, and if you are doing a temporary job where you're going to want to go later, it is easy to remove. It is not adhered in any way. Okay, the next ones that we would look at would be those SPC, WPC, LVP terminology. What that means is there is something in the middle layers of the vinyl that is adding strength and stability. Okay, you will notice that these vinyls, even though that's a little piece, they do not flex like those other vinyls that we were looking at. Okay, generally, if it's an SPC, that stands for stone. There is literally stone pieces as one of the layers in the middle. Again, we've talked about the wear layer, that's the vinyl on the top. But these middle layers that are here, we're looking at some sort of stone product. Every brand has their own mix of what's in there, but there's something there that's giving it strength and stability. Why would we want strength and stability? Well, it is adding that strength to the floor that is already there. So if, for example, you have a property where there's already tile on the floor and you don't want to be bothered to take that off and remove it, you could use a product like this to go right over top of it, because the strength of the vinyl itself is going to add strength to those grout spaces where there's going to be that little bit of air space, and you're not going to have the vinyl bending or flexing when the flooring isn't completely level. Also, as I mentioned, basements, we see a lot of this being used there. They're not completely level. They're purposely poured to have a slant towards a drain. And so doing something like this, it's going to take care of those unlevel floors underneath, leaving that water drainage system in place, but giving you a more level finish overall without screaks and cracks when people are walking over them. Okay, the thickness that you are looking at, you're going to see thicknesses for these types of vinyls anywhere from about 4 millimeters up to, now we're seeing them come out with 9 and 9.5 millimeters. Okay, they get thicker and thicker by the day. Again, we're going to be looking at a range. There isn't going to be a huge difference between something that's maybe a 4 mil and a 5 millimeter thickness. Just like there isn't going to be a huge difference between an 8 millimeter and a 9 millimeter. That's not worth paying a different price for. Okay, we're looking at kind of those overall extremes of those ranges. If you are looking at doing a thinner vinyl, a 4mm, 5mm vinyl. It is going to be less expensive, but it is going to have a lot less of that strength and stability. It's going to act, and think of it almost more as these lay flat vinyls. You're going to need a smooth undersurface, and you're going to be wanting it on to be putting it onto a strong base or an established floor. For example, we were at a new build construction doing a staircase where they were using a 4.5mm vinyl flooring, and the contractors in that situation actually needed to add an extra thick subfloor to the flooring before they were able to install that vinyl, because it was determined that the thickness of that subfloor, because there wasn't going to be a tile or there wasn't going to be a thicker, stronger vinyl going on place, it just didn't feel like those floorings had enough strength to them for the general wear and tear that would be in that home. So in that situation, a thicker vinyl would have saved that additional work and that additional wood in that installation. On the flip side, we've done stair installations at homes where people already had tile all throughout their home and they were wanting to cover it with vinyl for all the wonderful reasons that people do. They purposely chose a thinner 4.5mm thick vinyl because they just didn't want to keep adding to that height, right? The tile already added height, took away headspace, so they didn't want to have that even more. And again, those steps coming down from where they didn't want those to be as thick. The flooring was already established, so they were able to go with something a little bit thinner. Okay, generally as a ballpark, anywhere in that 6.5 to 7.5 ballpark, it's going to be your average. It's going to be a very strong and durable vinyl. It's going to work wonderfully in most situations. Personally, I've yet to be at an install where I felt the need for a 9mm vinyl. I think a lot of times the providers and the different brands that are out there just continue to make things thicker so that there's a new product that's available. There may be some specific situations, again, you can talk to your contractor about situations where you might want to go with those thickness, but they do generally come with a premium price and it's generally not worth it in that situation. So to recap, most important things when you're going out to purchase your vinyl. Number one off the top, that wear layer. Make sure for a residential situation, you're getting somewhere between that 12 and 20 mil wear layer, preferably around the 20 mark. If you have really, really strong wear and tear, you're gonna wanna be looking a little bit higher than that. Once you've determined that, then you're gonna be looking at the type of vinyl you want to do and the way it's going to be installed. Are you doing a professional glue down in a commercial space? Are you looking at a lay flat that's going to be easier to remove and replace if needed? Are you looking for a click vinyl with a stronger core that's going to add strength and stability? And then once you've determined that, if it does happen to be that stronger stability vinyl, you're then looking at that overall thickness. Is the goal over an established floor to reduce? Smaller. If it's not an established floor or it's an uneven floor, let's go a little bit thicker to add that strength and stability there. If you have absolutely any questions, please let me know in the comment section below or shoot us a direct message. We would be happy to help you out on your journey. As always, if you're looking for stair nosings, if you're looking for transitions or vent covers, we are here to help. Please reach out on our website. And as always, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button to support our channel. I hope you have a great day.